Hey guys, welcome to Melissa Makes It. Today we are going to be making crystal spiders. So I have already decided that I want to do um, black, black for sure, with a little variation, maybe a pop of red, maybe gold, but I'm really thinking red and black. So first things first is to kind of get your basics together. So we've already got this big bead that's going to end up being his little booty here. And then this matching bead a little bit smaller will be his head. Ooh, let's bring that little separator with us just in case we want it. And I have this little tray that I like to use. I think it's actually for food. Yeah, can you see that? I'm pretty sure this is a kitchen situation, but I use it for beading because I like the white background. It gives me a nice kind of visual. And then I like how it's got the raised edges, so I don't end up, even if I do spill beads, they're contained. I don't end up with them all over the place. Like this one that just jumped. Like I said, I'm pretty excited about the little addition of red in there, which I was thinking that this was going to be like a silver base. I have black wire, and while I would love that, I know the gauge is way too thick. I'll never get all the beads on there. But I do also have this red. Maybe we go red. So the first thing that I do, oh, that was the wrong end, my bad. I release my wire here, and then I've got this handy dandy little wire straightener. Highly recommend one of these guys for sure. I'm just gonna straighten some pieces of wire. And just, I usually do mine about as wide as this dish, like nice big old spread hand width. And we're gonna cut 4 of these to wrap around the middle and thus make his 8 legs. You don't have to be like super precise because as we move through adding the different beads on there and wrapping it around, like there's going to be plenty of room for, I don't want to say error, but like room for art. There's going to be plenty of room for art that we can adjust and scooch things around as we go. So I usually make mine extra long, so I just don't have to worry about not having enough. All right, we've got 4 that will equal 8 legs. This wire is pretty thin. It's a pretty small gauge to support the weight of the whole spider. Gosh, everything I have is that. Let's do... No, that's way too thick. Yeah, let's do his middle, this nice thick silver. So I'm just gonna put his little butt, his little head on there. And I'm gonna curve, honestly, just enough that the bead won't fall off. And then I usually flatten it a bit so his nose isn't, you see? There we go. So his nose isn't sticking out. I'll flatten it sideways so it's kind of flat against his face. I cut this way too big. I have one of these little spiders hanging from my rear view window in my car, and it looks so pretty in the sun. Like when the sun catches all the little beads, he's my little like spider sun catcher. So I'm just gonna take 2 and 2 and kind of cross them over and then just wind them together. Then I'm gonna take that around the middle of the spider. Just wrap them right through there. Now I've got all my legs sticking out. And obviously you can make the beads in like whatever pattern and stuff you want. I usually like to do mine, can you see that? Like 3, oh maybe just like 1, then 2 straight ones. I like kind of a bigger bead to be his knee. And 2 more straight ones in his foot. Yeah, he'll be a nice cute spider. But you can do it, you know, anyway. You can put one in between each bead if you want it to make them like longer legs, or that's kind of cute too. Sometimes I do that. I do 2, and then I'll do like maybe 3 long ones. You just have to feel out your spider, you know, and see what you want him to look like every time. So I'm just gonna do, well, here, I'll finish this one leg. So at least for me, I know like about one thumbnail's worth is the amount of working space that I like to have for spinning that up. I'm going to do that 7 more times. I remember several years ago, I made it my mission to no longer be afraid of spiders. Like, for whatever it was, I just really felt that it was time to face my spider challenge. And I stopped spraying for bugs around my house. I stopped doing like the spider barrier and whatnot around the foundation. And I remember the first year in my garden, there was so many spiders. And of course, like your mind finds, like it seeks to, like your mind finds the things that you're thinking about, right? So of course, there were so many spiders. And there was like little grass spiders, and there was like big fuzzy ones, and it really freaked me out. It was a long summer. And then the next summer, there were still just as many spiders, but they didn't, like I could see them go by as I was like weeding or something without like my throat tightening. And then I remember the first time I So then it was a challenge when there were spiders in my houses to like catch them and take them outside instead of kill them. And I remember the first time when the spider I had found wasn't big enough to bother taking out. And I remember thinking to myself like, I think that means that if I'm the kind of person that is just okay, I guess, okay to just leave a spider in my house, does that mean that I've, like, feels weird to say mastered a challenge? I definitely, like, I'm not gonna have a spider crawl on my face or something, so I don't think I've mastered the challenge, but I've gotten myself to an acceptable place with spiders if I'm gonna just let one walk by in my house, I guess. I also had a spider, a pretty big, like those fuzzy ones, living in some of my house plants by my front window. And she was literally the biggest spider I've ever seen. Not like tarantula size, but like she was probably the size of my thumbnail. And I remember I let her live there for a really long time. And I don't remember what it was about the one particular day that I just couldn't really handle it anymore. I remember being too afraid and I vacuumed her up because I was too afraid to even just kill her. And that's rough because I think about her all the time. Like, I had lived with her in my houseplants for however many months, probably at that point. Like, what was it about that day that I couldn't handle it anymore? I mean, truly, in hindsight, I didn't have like pets and stuff growing up. And I just now have well, not just now, I've had my cat for like a decade. But my spider was truly my first pet to come and go, I guess. Come and go, but go at my own hand. So there's definitely a lesson in there. And I do think about her a lot. But part of my challenge was of becoming comfortable with spiders, right? Was to, like, that's why I started making crystal spiders, I think, was to kind of just, immersion therapy. I'm cool with crystal spiders. Real spiders are still hard for me. Dang it, I feel like I made these legs a little too tight. See how the beads are all like up in her business? I can't get the legs. I think this is part of why you leave working room, right? So I can relax these out a little bit and let those beads fall down. It's a little better. Maybe the front one should be a little bit shorter than the other three. Let's try it on this side and see what we think. So I've got the other 4 legs done, but I left this last one with just 2 of the long beads instead of 3. What do we think? I kind of like the shorter ones. Okay, I've got these last 4 legs beaded, twisted up, bent into shape. And I left the last one with just 2 beads instead of 3. And I kind of like that. I like his front one being a little bit shorter. So let's wrap this one up. Oop. And then this guy on the other side. There you go, guys. Cute as it gets. It's got kind of like Halloween vibes with the black and the red. And then of course it's wires. I mean, you don't want to do it too much, but it's wires so you can move the legs around. The one I have hanging in my car is hanging like I've got a little metal string coming up, but I have his legs twisted up. Like that, and that's how he's like hanging. This one kind of lends itself to, this one kind of lends itself to that really well. And then I've got like the string hanging down. So, alright, so there we go. These are so fun and easy to make. Put it in the comments if you want to see me make any other colors. Bye.